Hey dude, what's up? You don't like eating school food or what? Mitch asked, as he noticed Joey was wolfing down a sandwich from home. Joey was sitting with his back to the gym on the sidewalk facing the basketball courts.
Yeah, man, school food sucks. Not that this shit's much better,
Joey said, with a mouthful of food. He gobbled down the rest of his ham sandwich and nonchalantly threw his empty brown bag on the ground.
Man, I could sure use a smoke right now. I love a good smoke after eating, you know what I mean?
I still have one left, Mitch said promptly, as he referred to the one he still had in his pocket from this morning. Too bad we're at school.
You got a smoke?
Joey asked with excitement. Not waiting for Mitch to answer, Joey jumped up and tapped Mitch on the shoulder with the back of his right hand.
Come on, I'll show you where we can go.
Ever since they were little kids, Mitch enjoyed doing dangerous things with Joey, so he just followed him without question. However, the idea of smoking at school did make Mitch wonder for a moment if Joey knew what he was talking about. On the other hand, Mitch knew better than to underestimate Joey, as he knew that Joey had learned a lot from Fred since they had become friends last year. As Joey led Mitch further into the backyard, which was also used as a football field, Joey picked a spot to the right of a large group of people strangely standing around in a circle. Joey then plopped down on his left side facing the school and signaled Mitch to lay down facing the opposite direction. As Mitch did so, Joey grabbed Mitch's book sack, which Mitch had put down in front of him, and set it up by Mitch's head. Now the two boys were laying parallel to each other, with Mitch's head across from Joey's feet and vice versa. Mitch finally asked an important question.
Isn't somebody going to see the smoke? Just do what I say and everything will be cool,
Joey said in a serious tone.
Where's the smoke?
Check it out, Mitch said, as he reached inside his jacket pocket and took out a cassette case to show Joey.
Man, Midnight Star sucks,
Joey said, looking at the case in disgust. Yeah, I know, Mitch said, as he opened the case to reveal his hidden cigarette. As Joey saw the Marlboro hidden inside the cassette shell, his eyes widened in anticipation.
Yeah, your Midnight Star rules. Drop it to the ground, dude.
Mitch flipped the case open to allow the cigarette to casually drop to the ground between him and Joey. All I have is some matches, Mitch said, as he patted his jacket pocket.
Screw that,
Joey said, as he reached inside his right blue jean pants pocket and grabbed his notorious chrome Zippo lighter, which he always kept overflowing with lighter fluid. Casually tossing it next to the cigarette on the ground, he continued.
Just light it with that and pass it back to me. Blow the smoke to the ground and keep the cherry cupped in your hand, but wait until I say go,
Joey said with authority, as he seemed to stare off into the distance behind Mitch.
When I say scoping, that means the teacher is looking this way. Got it?
Yeah, I got it, Mitch said bluntly, now feeling the rush of adrenaline. Mitch had never done anything like this at school before. In fact, he had only heard of people at Hometown Junior High trying to smoke at school, but he never actually seen it, much less participated. He had only heard vague rumors of girls getting caught smoking in the bathroom in the past, so this was an exhilarating experience to say the least.
Go,
Joey said, as if this were some kind of race.
After you get a drag, toss it. Don't hand it to me, just drop it on the ground.
Although there was a fairly strong breeze blowing, it only took Mitch one flick of Joey's overfilled lighter to light the cigarette. In fact, Mitch slightly burned his hand in the process, for the flame of the lighter was much larger than expected. Mitch should have come to expect this sort of thing coming from Joey, but it had been so long since Mitch had smoked a cigarette with him, he simply forgot how high Joey liked to have his flame on his lighters. Once the cigarette was lit, Mitch casually dropped the lighter, followed by the cigarette, near Joey's hand. However, Mitch did not take a drag yet, being that he wasn't sure how to do it properly. He then watched Joey's technique carefully. Joey grabbed the lighter first and returned it to his pocket, then waited a few moments. As if to take advantage of an opportune moment, he quickly grabbed the cigarette and took a deep drag, blowing the smoke directly onto the cherry. He did this 3 times before tossing it back to Mitch. Is it cool? Mitch asked, now wishing he had eyes on the back of his head.
No, wait. Scoping. Scoping. Now go,
Joey said. Mitch quickly went down for a drag. Unfortunately, he waited too long to blow down the first time, and a puff of smoke escaped from Mitch's cigarette.
Shit!
Mitch shouted, as he quickly compensated with a quick blow on the cherry of the cigarette. He looked up at Joey again, asking permission with his eyes.
Go ahead,
Joey said, now chuckling at Mitch for being so green at this whole procedure. Joey always did have a way about him, just like Fred, where nothing seemed to get him nervous. Not even the possibility of getting caught smoking at school seemed to faze Joey's cool exterior. Mitch took another quick drag, this time more controlled and focused. He quickly tossed it back to Joey after he blew on the cherry once more. This reminded Mitch of all those cigarettes they'd smoked together in the old neighborhood where they grew up, only this time he had to rely on Joey to keep them from getting into trouble. However, Mitch trusted Joey completely, as his nerves began to strengthen once the nicotine kicked in. At this point, the cigarette had already been burned past the halfway point, and the cherry was becoming like a fiery spike. Joey took 2 more drags and tossed it back.
"Don't put it out yet,"
he said, as he signaled to Mitch to hit it again. As Mitch took another drag, he felt his lips get hot. He also noticed that he was getting a buzz from the combination of the nicotine rush and adrenaline. He tossed it back to Joey, feeling he had enough of that cigarette to last him the rest of the day. "I've had enough," Mitch said, now becoming totally relaxed. Joey took one last drag and totally smashed the smoldering butt out in the grass. Joey made sure it was completely out, leaving no chance of someone discovering a still-lit cigarette.
"See? No big deal. We do this kind of shit every day,"
Joey said, as he tilted his head toward the group of people to the left that were standing in a circle. Mitch looked at the group and noticed that they reminded him of a much smaller group he had seen last year at Hometown Junior High. They also hung out in the backyard of the school, wearing blue jean jackets and Harley shirts. Most everyone in the group had shoulder-length hair or longer, mostly in a feathered style, which in most cases completely covered their foreheads. Some had on concert shirts for bands like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin, but what Mitch noticed most about them were their shoes. Mitch noticed that these types of shoes were called moccasins or hush puppies, but the most common term he heard used to describe them were head shoes. Some of the boys wore dark tan orange-colored ones, while other boys and mostly girls wore light tan, but they all wore the same type of shoes. "Are they smoking too?" Mitch asked, now made more curious by the minute as he stared at them.
"Oh yeah, every day they smoke. Sometimes weed when they got it. That's the Eagles. I would have said let's go smoke with them, but then we would have only got one drag off your cigarette if we were lucky," Joey said, as he began to stand up. "Let's go back to the front. I want to show you something."
As Joey began to stand, Mitch noticed for the first time that Joey was also wearing the same type of shoes the so-called Eagles wore. As Mitch grabbed his book sack and stood up, he also remembered that his brother Chuck wore a pair of shoes like that. Suddenly, Mitch started feeling dizzy and seeing spots. Eventually, his eyesight went out altogether.
"Hold up, Joey!"
Mitch said abruptly, waiting for his vision to return. As the spots began to clear from Mitch's sudden head rush, he realized that Joey had already walked away. Mitch spun around quickly and jogged back toward the school to catch up with Joey. The way Joey walked was almost considered jogging, for he walked very fast and always marched as if he had a mission. As Mitch approached Joey's left side, he quickly asked the question that was now predominant in his mind.
"Where'd you get those shoes?"
Mitch asked bluntly.
"What, my head shoes? Shoetown down the road from Kmart. Why, you want to get some?"
Joey asked, as he looked down on Mitch's old worn-out blue Converse.